You know that feeling? You get to the end of a long day, you're trying to read something, and the words just swim. Everything's a little blurry, your eyes feel tired, achy even. We've all been there, and it's so easy to just point the finger at the computer screen we'd been staring at for 8 hours. But what if the real problem, or at least a major partner in crime, is sitting right there on your dinner plate? Today we're going to dive into this really surprising connection between what you eat and how clearly you see.
I mean, it's a question we all ask, isn't it? Why are my eyes just so tired all the time? And our brain immediately jumps to one conclusion. It's the screens. It has to be the screens. Hours on the computer, endless scrolling on our phones, binge watching that new series. And look, that's definitely a piece of the puzzle, for sure. But it is not the whole story, not by a long shot. So let's lay it out right here. On one side, you have the usual suspect, the one that gets all the blame. Screens. Obvious, right? But on the other side, we have this hidden accomplice, the one that's been working in the shadows this whole time. Sugar. Yeah, sugar. The research we're digging into today shows pretty clearly that all the excess sugar and refined carbs in our modern diet are a huge and mostly ignored reason why our vision is taking such a hit.
So, how in the world does food mess with your eyesight? Well, it boils down to this concept that scientists call nutritional stress. It's pretty much what it sounds like. It's the idea that the things we eat can put our eyes under a constant, low-level state of stress. And over time, that stress starts to cause some very real, very noticeable problems.
Let me put this as simply as I can. The big idea here is that eating too much of certain things, and we're talking specifically about sugar and high-carb foods, has a direct physical impact on the health of your eyes and the sharpness of your vision. It's a straight line from your fork to your focus. And just understanding that link is a massive first step in protecting your sight.
All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. How does a can of soda or a piece of cake actually do any harm? Well, the science behind it is, honestly, it's both fascinating and a little bit scary. It's not just one single thing. It's more like a domino effect, a chain reaction of damage that kicks off the second too much sugar hits your system.
Okay, when we talk about sugar's damage, there are two main bad guys, two primary attackers we need to know about. The first is called oxidative stress, and the second is a nasty process called glycation, which creates these harmful things called AGs. Think of these two as the main villains of our story, working together to mess things up from the inside out. Let's take a look at each one. So first up is oxidative stress. Now, the absolute best way to picture this is to think of it as cellular rust. You know how metal rusts and breaks down when it's exposed to the elements? Well, something similar can happen inside our bodies. A high-sugar diet really speeds up this process. And this rusting is especially bad for the super delicate parts of your eye, particularly the retina. That's the part at the very back of your eye that senses light, and it's absolutely crucial for seeing clearly.
And now for attacker number 2, glycation. This one's a trip. When you have too much sugar just floating around in your bloodstream, it gets sticky. It literally starts to glom onto proteins, creating these nasty new molecules called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs for short. And here's where the analogy gets really good. Think of it as your body slowly caramelizing. Seriously. Just like sugar in a pan gets hard, brown, and brittle when you heat it, these AGEs make your body's soft, flexible tissues stiff and inflexible.
So this slide right here shows you exactly how that caramelization process leads straight to blurry vision. Let's just walk through it. Step 1, you eat too much sugar and it floods your system. Step 2, those sticky sugar molecules start latching onto the proteins inside the lens of your eye. You know, the part that's supposed to be flexible so it can focus. Step 3, those harmful AGEs are formed and they make that once flexible lens hard and brittle. And finally, step 4, that stiff lens just can't change shape properly anymore. It struggles to focus and boom, blurry vision. But wait, there's more. The damage doesn't just stop with the lens. High blood sugar is like a wrecking ball for your eyes. It harms those tiny, fragile blood vessels in your retina. It messes up blood flow, which means your eyes are literally starved of the oxygen and nutrients they need. It even puts stress on the optic nerve, the main cable connecting your eye to your brain. And on top of all that, it fuels this low-grade, chronic inflammation everywhere, which just adds insult to injury. It's a full-on assault.
Okay, now that we've got the science down, let's make this really personal. How can you tell if this nutritional stress is happening to you? Your eyes are actually pretty good at sending out little warning flares, so think of these next few slides as a kind of modern eye stress test. Just listen and see if any of this sounds a little too familiar.
So what are these warnings your eyes might be sending?
Well, number one is that classic blurry or hazy vision. Maybe it gets worse after a big, carb-heavy meal. Number two, just a constant feeling of eye fatigue, a deep-down ache that a good night's sleep doesn't seem to fix. Third, you might notice persistent dryness or redness. Fourth, you're finding it tougher to see in dim light, like when you're driving at night. And finally, just this general creeping feeling that your vision just isn't as crisp and sharp as it used to be.
You might be sitting there thinking, why does this feel like it's a bigger problem now than ever before, even for younger people? Well, our modern life has pretty much created a perfect storm for eye problems. High sugar, high carb diets are just normal now. Then there's the late night snacking, which keeps our blood sugar jacked up when it should be coming down. You combine that bad diet with hours and hours of screen time, and you've got a double hit of stress on your eyes. And to top it all off, many of us aren't moving enough, which means poor circulation to, you guessed it, our eyes.
Okay, I know, that was a whole lot of bad news. But here's the good news, and it's really good news. None of this is a done deal. You're not doomed. So now we're gonna pivot. We're moving away from the problem and squarely into the solution. This next part is all about how you can reclaim control and take real practical steps to protect your vision.
And this is the most important takeaway of this entire explainer. You have so much more control over the health of your eyes than you probably think. Look, we can't stop the clock on aging, but we can absolutely put the brakes on the things that speed up vision decline. It's not about some crazy overnight diet. It's about making smarter, consistent choices that add up to a huge difference down the road.
So here it is, a clear 5-step game plan. Number 1, and this is the big one, get a handle on your sugar and refined carb intake. Step 2, start packing your meals with antioxidant-rich foods. 3, try to cut out those late-night snacks. 4, keep doing what you know is right. Give your eyes regular breaks from screens. And step 5, for those interested, you can look into things like intermittent fasting to really help stabilize your blood sugar.
Let's just zoom in on step 2 for a second. To fight back against that cellular rust we talked about, you need to send in the troops. And those troops are antioxidants. You can find them in foods with lots of vitamin C and vitamin E. But the real superstars for eye health are carotenoids. So think bright, colorful foods, spinach, carrots, pumpkin. These things are like a shield for the delicate cells in your retina.
I want to close with this quote from the source material, because it just says it all, really. The eyes are a precious organ that is difficult to restore once lost. Let's protect the future of our eyes by reviewing our dietary habits, starting today. It's just such a powerful reminder that when it comes to our sight, prevention is everything. The little choices you make at lunch today will literally determine how well you see the world years from now.
And that really brings us to the final question. This is about more than just biology or what's on your plate. It's about what you want to experience in your life. Your eyesight is your window to everything, to beautiful sunsets, to the faces of the people you care about. So the question isn't just about food. The real question is, what are you going to choose today to make sure you can see all of that more clearly tomorrow? Thanks for tuning in.